Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and Joker cannot catch a break. It just can't. It just cannot catch a break at all. We're living in a world where this movie just keeps getting absolutely 100% crapped on for no other reason than the fact that it just exists. Many, many, many critics out there have tried to claim that this movie it promotes violence, it promotes all these things. It doesn't, by the way. It's a movie warning us about mental health problems and why that should be something that should be looked into. But, hey, why actually have a hardcore conversation about the mental health of our country when you could just point the finger and blame? Because that seems about right. Anyway, so apparently there's a credible threat at California theaters that are prompting cancellations, of all things. Saying here that some of the early critics who saw Joker claimed they believed the movie was irresponsible or even dangerous. Regal Cinemas banned Joker cosplay, and families of victims of the Aurora mass shootings in 2012 at a screening of The Dark Knight Rises also have publicly taken Warner Brothers to task for the film. Thus far, there had only been increased security at some theaters around the country, but last night, at least one California theater shut down its Joker screenings because a credible threat was made against it. Now, I don't quite know what in this day and age constitutes a credible threat, to be fair. I don't. I don't know what they're going to, deem to be credible. But the police clearly know more than me in these cases, so they must have had good reason. And I will say that when I saw the movie, I did notice a cop outside of the theater at a Jamba Juice type restaurant. And then when I left, I saw another cop on the other side of the theater. And I live in a small town, like 40,000 people. So apparently there was at least enough cause for concern for that. So I get people are being cautionary. I understand that. I get the cautionary aspect of this, but at the same time, I'm sorry. I think that the ones being wildly irresponsible here are the media that have been making this claim now for a month, even though the movie openly talks about mental health and the failing of a system and how it failed Joker. And again, I have a video about the politics of it where I go into a bit more detail without being too spoilery. And of course, my review will be coming here pretty soon. Anyway, Variety says that the Century Huntington Beach and XD in Huntington Beach shut down early last night after the threat was reported, saying the police department deemed the threat was credible enough to provide a uniformed presence at the theater. As the investigation continued, our officers worked with the managers of the theater, who determined they would cancel the final two showings and close the theater out of an abundance of caution. Based on the investigation and in working with theater management, it was determined that the theater could safely reopen today and resume normal operation. Well, does that say anything about the perpetrator who was making the threat? What makes it credible? That's the thing I don't get. What about it makes it credible? When it came to the situation with the Army, and the Army talking about this, they said they had found the FBI had gone to them after chatter on the deep web had caught their attention. That's at least something. What exactly is a credible threat here? Someone on Snapchat, on Instagram? Who knows? Because it goes on to say here, no details were given about the threat. And the theater resumed its normal operations today. It's easy to assume these kind of things are just trollish pranks. But if the police think they are credible, then they need to be treated seriously. Which, look, I don't disagree with. I don't want people to think that I don't think you should sit there and treat this as a credible thing, or to not take things seriously. I've worked for movie theaters for about 14 years of my life, and I've done that job. I've encountered crazy drunk people who had weaponry. I've encountered guns and other things like that, and violence and other things like that. So I get it. I understand why theaters would want to close down. I just don't see it as being... There's nothing credible about this. I mean, look, if there's a cop there, then they're doing their job. If theater management is shutting down, Century I get, because Century owns Cinemark, and Cinemark is where the 2012 shooting happened in Aurora. So they've already got a track record of being involved in this. So I get it. I understand that. And it's their decision to make, and I respect their decision to make it, just so we're clear. But all it's doing is going to embolden more people to make these type of threats and shut this stuff down. And all it's going to do is embolden the access media who spent a month ragging on this movie to no real avail in regards to getting people to not see it. It's actually on track to make more money than originally projected. But it gives them more ammo to see, we're right, there were threats. Incels are coming. Even though if you've seen the movie, and you know anything about incels and incel culture, they're not the same thing at all. It's just fear-mongering from people who want to fear-monger. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I hate being like the sane port in a storm. You know? Like, I always feel like I'm in the middle. Like, I'm fighting people on both sides. The access media for their clickbait, and then the grifters for their clickbait, all to have an actual rational conversation about this kind of crap. It drives me up the wall that people can't be honest in their reporting. But if you guys do support honest reporting, at least as honest as I can make it, come check me out over here on Patreon, patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. It really does help out. Right now, YouTube is, oh boy, it's not doing well. Their algorithm changes every month, it feels like. And unless I push clickbait, unless I push drama, the videos have trouble getting out there. And so this is where, if you guys want to help support, if you want to help Hollywood After Dark keep going, where it becomes a 4 or 5 night a week thing, this is a great way to do it. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you again very much for listening. Leave your comments below. Have yourself a great day, guys. And peace out.